All right, so we start aboard the Delgado, and
Aha!
you all have the benefit of a long rest. But during that long rest, you all had dreams about the previous encounter with the horrific fish-faced monstrosities. So, Elder Green, tell me about your troubling nightmare.
Ooh, a nightmare. Well, Elder Green is very used to nightmares, so typically, when he has nightmares, he just thinks of it as more communications from the gods, and it's just like, oh, those silly guys. Always sending weird messages. So, after the encounter with the fish people, Elder Green had a very normal dream where it was basically a reenactment of what was happening, and Gilfin died this time, and Elder Green did not resurrect him, and Jacobo was very angry at him for not helping him, and that was Elder Green's nightmare. Jacobo was angry with him.
Oh man,
and that made him sad.
And as the light kind of peeks out over the water, the sun sort of rises. You're kind of reflecting on these images, and you notice in the water that from the inlet, where the fresh water of this little river spilled from the marsh spills into the ocean. You see a tree branch drifting towards the boat. And it kind of catches your eye.
And this
then, this is real time.
Okay.
But we'll pause right there. Jacopo, tell me about your nightmare.
Well, Jacobo is not used to having nightmares. I will say that this is all just making it up, right? I wasn't supposed to receive. I'm just
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, Chad.
Just
We're always making
Dungeons
it up.
And Dragons. This is how the game is played. Yeah, we make it up as we go.
I missed. I'll make something up. Well, Jacobo, he has a dream, and he sees the deep blue sea, and he sees he's underwater, and it's all around him. He's so deep that he can't see much further than 2 feet in front of his face without just the vast blueness. But he can tell that there's this black, shape moving towards him slowly, and he's frightened by it. And he tries to swim, and for some reason, it feels like he's on the verge of drowning, but he's not reaching that point of being completely out of oxygen. So it's almost like he's struggling to breathe, but he also isn't dying or drowning outright. And this creature or object is getting closer and closer, this big black dot, before it finally is like giant tentacles become apparent, and they're just amassing this like two hands forming out of the murky blue, and just slowly surrounding him. And no matter how fast he can swim, they're starting to close in on him, and he can see the mouth of this giant kraken with his big beak just going nah, 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 coming closer and closer to him to consume him. And yet he still doesn't drown, but right before the beak consumes him, he'll wake up.
So you wake up with a start before anybody else. You wake up in the pre-dawn hours, and even though your dream terrified you, it also inspired you. So you, who already had performed repairs on the Delgado to make it seaworthy, you were inspired to upgrade the Delgado to have a speed plus 10 faster than it currently is. I think you have the stats for that somewhere.
Good show.
You tell me what the modification to the Delgado looks like that gives it that extra speed.
Well, I was thinking about it in my dreams, and I thought that if we took the mast and bent it ever so slightly and gave the sail just a bit of a curve, almost like the back fin of a large sea bass. It would just catch the wind just a little bit better and will be flying faster, just like the Iron Swan used to.
So now instead of a square sail, it's more of like an angled sail with more
It's
of a
like
sloop.
Or a marlin's fin or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, cool.
Almost like an Asian-looking pirate ship, almost maybe.
Awesome. And then, all right. So now, Gilfin, tell me about your nightmare.
Gilfin was pretty wounded, so he slept pretty soundly to recover from his injuries. And when he thought he was awake, but he was kind of out of body, like he was kind of floating. And he's walking through this beach swampland area, and he gets to his little house, his little fishing house, and out front are the garden where they would grow vegetables, and he finds a little tiny body, and it's just a skeleton, and it has a hoe in its hand and like a rake in its other hand, and it's his daughter Athena, and she died working the fields. And then he rushes into the house, and he finds another little body sitting at the dining room table, and it's just a skeleton with hair, and its bowls are empty, and it's his little girl Polly, and she died of starvation. And then he rushes to the bedroom to see if he can find his wife, Mara, and he finds her body. It's been destroyed and battered because ruffians had come to their little town, and they pillaged her and abused her. And he goes to the treasure chest where he keeps all the money for his family, and it's empty. And it's his fault they're all dead because he didn't save up enough money so they could have a better life. He failed them, and that's his nightmare.
And you have this nightmare over and over. As soon as it ends, as soon as you lift up the chest and see there's nothing in it, it starts all over again, and you keep revisiting all the images that you just described. Like, it seems endless.
Yeah.
But something creeps into your mind. It's kind of like flashing in between these scenes as they play one by another. You start to remember something. You remember the island that you escaped from.
Yeah.
In your history, and you remember as you were planning your escape and wondering how you could get out of that desperate situation, just like how you were in this desperate situation in the nightmare. You're out waist deep in the ocean, in the island, and you see a glint of metal underwater, and something in your mind connects that glint of metal to your escape from the island. You don't remember right now. Well, you remember, but you're not sure how you don't get any more information about your escape, except you're reminded that glint of metal helped you out somehow.
Yeah, steel saved the day.
So you're still asleep, while Elder Green
Tossing and turning.
notices that bit of driftwood, and then Jacopo, you are finishing up your modifications, and that's where we'll start tonight.
Jacopo, I just had the worst dream. It was nothing like the normal dreams that I usually have, where I'm at the bottom of the ocean and there's just a crushing pressure all around me, so comforting, and tentacles grabbing. Nothing like my normal dreams like that. You were angry at me. It was awful. Anyway, what's that driftwood? And I'll grab the driftwood.
Yeah, it bumps up against the boat while you're kind of relaying your dream. It sort of bumps into it. And it's just over the, you see we have a low draw on the keel boat here. So it's within arm's reach.
I would like to take it.
All right. And then so you kind of feel that there's something extraordinary about this bit of driftwood. And it's sort of, you can tell there's something magical about it. So it's a +1 club.
Oh.
And you kind of know that right away.
Wow. I'll go ahead and take that then. So it just looks like a bit of driftwood? Or is it
Yep.
just like an actual club? Okay. Wow.
It looks like it's well, you tell me what it looks like. It just drifted out of the swamp into the ocean.
Gosh. Don't know. If it just drifted out of the swamp, I imagine it's just a large piece of driftwood. I mean,
It's Cthulhu's toenail.
yeah, I don't really. Yeah.
What if it's
It's
like
It's a
big,
little bit
gnarled piece of
rotten.
wood.
It smells a little bad. It's a little bit moss covered.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fantastic because I had nothing in terms of weapons.
You can
So
feel
you said
there's
it's a
like
plus
energy
one, right?
in this thing. Yes, +1.
Okay.
And you can feel the energy sort of radiating from it. And what's everybody's passive perception?
Oh, mine
hang
is
on.
really low. I have the lowest. I think it's let me see. I think it's 11.
Mine is 14.
I got a 13.
All right.
I'm gonna add their passive perception to their names.
I have it. I have it on my notes. I just wanted to make sure they hadn't changed. So Elder Greens went up 1 since I had my.
Did it?
Yep.
Well, then I'm probably wrong.
Since I kept my stats.
It might just be 10. I know I don't have any perception proficiencies.
Okay, yeah, I have 10. I have 10 written down, so I
There
just
you
Then
wanted
go.
to make
it's
sure.
10.
They're all there
Alright.
now. I should do that from
Okay.
now on. I apologize.
I just wanted to make sure it was still the case. All right. And I'm sorry, bear with me. I
That's
don't know
okay.
why. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't have this pulled up already. All right. But as you're kind of looking at it, and as you kind of feel it radiate with energy, a giant toad also leaps from the water from the area from which you pulled the energetic stick. And mounted on him is a humanoid but primitive-looking toad who croaks at you. That's mine!
Oh, hello there. I'm
And
so
everybody-
sorry.
Everybody roll initiative.
Oh,
Do I
dear.
wake up? I suddenly wake up.
I don't know, you tell me.
How loud is this toad?
It leapt from the water aboard the boat on the back of its toe.
Alright, I feel disturbance.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So yeah, it's aboard
I have
ship.
such a small area to roll my dice on. I'm gonna have a 16 to initiative.
I got 17.
All right. So, Gilfin's first. What'd you say yours was, Elder Green?
16.
16? Okay, you're next. And then it's our primitive frog human. Mounted on the back of a toad.
I'll bring it up to Rhea.
And just for clarity, they look more like this separately.
That's way
Damn,
more
dude.
scary.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker.
Yeah. And then
I like the purple
Jack-
toad.
Jacopo. All right, Gilfin. So a giant, monstrous toad has just climbed aboard the Delgado with a primitively dressed, sort of menacing warrior upon his back, and he is bearing down on Elder Green with a spear, and he shouts in a sort of a croak language, "That's mine!" And then you also kind of hear the noise on the shore from the stunted trees kind of pick up. These stunted trees close by, with the croaking of frogs and toads. Just a loud, some sort of nighttime at Florida frog noise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine I'm laying prone, so I'm going to use half my movement to go ahead and get up. I'm probably back by the higher, like the storage
The
portion.
poop deck, yeah, and the stern, yeah.
it's
So
probably
this,
up
yeah, let's say it leaps aboard the prow of the Delgado,
And I
and
am
it's taking up the front third of the boat. That's how big it is.
I'm actually an idiot. I had my damn microphone turned off when he picked that driftwood up, but I said I want to train my crossbow on the driftwood. It's not going to be on the audio because I forgot I had it turned off. But I was going to say
You
I'm
cut
ready.
out for a minute. You left the room.
Cherry is always on my back anyway. I'm ready to spring into action.
All right, Gilfin, so it's your
So
turn.
half my movement. Would the other half get me to Elder Green?
I can't. Let's see. How long did I say the boat was? 60 feet last time, right? Yeah, 60 feet. So, and it's taking up 10 feet because it's sized large at the front, and yeah, you could get from where you're at, you could get amidships, but probably not in melee range to the creature.
Okay.
With one move, you could if you dash. Of course.
I'm going to Elder Green, not the creature. But I
Oh,
only have
Elder Green.
I only have 15 feet of movement.
You could
Yeah, Elder
toss
Green.
a dagger.
He's gonna be at the front there. He's gonna be
Okay.
he's gonna be within 10 feet of the creature.
Okay. So as I'm going, I pull out the two hand axes and I say,
Okay.
"You don't get on a sailor's boat without permission. That's not nautical. You need to disembark now, and we can talk this out." And I'm gonna hold my action should they attack Elder Green.
Okay. All right. So in response, the creature aboard on the back of the creature on the back of the giant toad croaks at you and says, "He committed the first crime. He stole what was mine."
Here's your name on it.
All right, Elder Green, it's your turn.
All right. I would like to just hand back the club and just say, "Oh, terribly sorry," to the frog person. Do I know any frog people, perhaps? Like what they might be or what languages they might speak?
You would no, you're not from around here. So
Okay.
yeah, I'd say no. You could do a nature check in or you could do nature or survival to identify what
nature's
it
gonna be
is.
better.
Okay.
No, just a 9. So
Nine,
it's
okay.
not very-
I mean, yeah, you're familiar with like giant toads and frogs. Like you've heard stories about them. You've probably seen them in the wild, like around. But
Right.
you know that there's all kinds of like primitive humanoids living, around the salt marsh area. So you just assume this is some sort of, you might want to think of it like as a Native American kind of thing.
Okay. Well, I'm just
Yeah.
going to hand back the club and say, "Terribly sorry for that. I love your little mount, by the way. Are you a friend of Theron Kalasar, perhaps? He has one just like it."
And
Theron Kalasar was
he'll reach
ruined
down
from last night.
he'll reach towards the taking that club back.
Now see, there you go. We're respectable men and frogs.
You must be taught a lesson for your thievery.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the end of your turn, Elder Green?
Well, if he wants to, he says he wants to teach me a lesson for my
Yes.
thievery.
He lost it in the
Oh,
water. It's his fault. Put a strap on it.
You should keep a better hold on your things.
I've been
gosh.
tracking that for the better
I don't
part
wanna
of a
hurt-
morning.
I don't want to hurt the little frog fella. Gosh. Well, is there like a can I take an action to like you can dodge as an action, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I would like to do. Like if he attacks me, I would like to try to dodge.
So you'll just get a +2 bonus to your AC.
Okay.
So yeah, if he tries to attack you, it'll just be that much harder to hit you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So he reaches out and he grabs a hold of of that club, and at the same time, he strikes at you from the back of his giant toad mount with his spear, And he's got advantage of the attack because he's mounted on a creature larger than you. So, I still have your AC as 11. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So his first attack is going to hit, and you're going to take 5 damage. He doesn't have a full hold of the club, though. You say you each have a half of it. And that's the end of his
5
turn.
damage?
Yeah, 5 damage.
Okay.
And so, now you said, Gilfin, that if you saw Elder Green get attacked, you were going to take your action, right?
Yes, I had the 2 hand axes out.
Yep,
I'm
so
just
you
gonna
can take your action.
toss the 1 hand axe. That's a 19.
That hits.
Okay, it's
What are you attacking, though? Are you attacking the mount or
the guy riding the mount?
So you would know because you're a fighter and you're from the area, right? You know this is a bullywug and that they are mean-tempered.
Well, I know we tried to talk to him. He lost his stick in the water. He can't control his stick. Not my fault.
So yeah, you hit him with the first hand axe.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4 points slashing damage.
Okay. All right, is that the end of your action there?
I don't think I get a second attack or anything.
I don't know if you could use a bonus action ability because it is your action from your turn. You readied it, so
Yeah.
you get to.
You have
get
a
to
dual
do.
wielder feat, don't you?
Yeah, when I'm engaged in 2-weapon fighting, but I have 2 axes in my hand, the ranged weapons.
I think it still counts.
So I'm saying you could throw that other axe.
It's okay. If the DM says okay, yeah, I'll toss the other axe because
Yeah.
I did pull both out. That's going to be 13.
Okay, that does not hit. So that
Okay.
kind of clatters off of his. He's got the turtle shell shield.
Yeah.
He has a shield.
Okay.
Now you're
so
pirates. You're invading
now
my
it's
vessel.
It's Jacopo's turn, and you've seen Gilfin, has engaged, and there's some melee going on. So, what would you like
It's
to
a
do?
bullywug, mate. You're not going to be able to talk to them.
Yes, you know what a bullywug is as well.
I'm gonna go ahead and take Cherry, and I'm gonna try and shoot his mount. I don't
Okay.
want him riding around getting his greasy little frog feet all over my my deck.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and shoot him with Cherry. Oh, I rolled a 19 here, I think. Plus
That hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got a D8. I apologize, boys. My D8 is camouflaged. Here it is. And I roll a.
Thanks, baby.
A 7 plus 8 damage to the frog.
Okay. And then, and you shot him with the crossbow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the bolt kind of penetrates its wet, disgusting skin, and it sort of like lolls its tongue out and bellows its neck kind of in your direction, croaks at you.
Okay, cool.
All right, Gilfin, it's your turn again.
You done picked the wrong boat to get on. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my rapier and scimitar now that my hands are free.
Okay.
I will move. Seeing that Jacobo went after the mount, I'm going to change my attack to the mount. Can I move up to the mount? I mean,
Yeah, you can get close enough to attack at melee range.
So we're going to go with the rapier first.
Okay.
Holy shit, that's a natural 1, so it's really just a 6, so that's probably not going to hit.
No, it doesn't hit.
Second attack with the scimitar is going to be 23.
That hits.
That's a d6. That's going to be 7 points slashing damage.
Okay. So as it croaks its little neck bulger out at your buddy there, you kind of slash across it, and it kind of deflates and hangs there loosely from its neck, gushing ooze. Elder Green, it's your turn.
I'm not cleaning this up, Jacobo.
All right, so they've just taken down the mount, correct?
It's not dead, but he dealt a grievous blow. The two of them combined.
Okay, got it. Well, I am just going to attack the the bullywug that's riding it then, and I'm gonna use Eldritch Blast,
Okay.
and that's only a 9.
That does not hit.
Oh well.
Did you want to attempt to like flee or anything like that?
No, because if I do, I'll just engage in an act of opportunity anyway.
Okay.
From both of them, right?
Yeah. All right then. Well then so the bullywug atop its mount sort of dodges out of the way of your blast, and then he attempts to sort of spear down at you. And again, he's got advantage in retaliation. He rolled a 1 on the first roll and a nat 20 on the second one. So I'm just gonna double that damage to 10 on this round.
Okay.
And as he lunges the spear at you, his mount also bites at you.
Oh no!
But looks like you're gonna get away with this one. There's a 9 to hit, so you're good.
Okay.
All right, Jacopo.
Si, senor. Well, I don't like to see my friends getting half swallowed by giant frogs. I'm gonna try once again. I'm gonna again focus my ire on this big frog, and I'm gonna shoot Cheery at him. Keep track of I rolled a 17
No, that hits.
to hit the mount.
Yep.
And let's see here. That's gonna be a walloping. Ooh, nice. 17.
17 damage.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Who's
And,
saying Rangers are wimps?
Yeah. They're not.
Nobody ever.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. So
Reload Cherry.
yeah. You're the bolt flies out of Cherry and strikes this strikes the kind of behemoth frog,
Twang.
and it is unhappy. It starts to sort of lean back on its haunches like it's gonna leap away. Gilfin, it's your turn, and as that arrow strikes the giant toad, you notice in that gash that you cut inside of its gullet that sort of same glimmer of metal from your dream. It's your turn.
I gotta get to it. Safety. Sanctuary. So I'm gonna go for that glint of metal.
Okay.
So first is gonna be 15 with the rapier.
All right, that hits.
Okay.
And that's against the frog, right? The
Yeah,
giant
wherever
toad?
that's where the glint of metal was, right?
Yes, inside of its gullet. Yep.
I'm focused on that.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
That's gonna be 9 points slashing damage.
All right, so that's enough to finish it. So you can tell me what that looks like as you go slash at it, get that, go after that metal.
Yeah, I'm aiming at right at where I saw the metal, and I'm trying to get at it. Am I
Okay.
able to get anything, or is it just like an illusion to me?
Oh no, you pull out of its gullet a helmet.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Something it's swallowed along the way. Now you're starting to believe that maybe this pair of frog warriors are collectors of treasures and artifacts.
Oh. So as I'm pulling it back, somehow that helmet pops out as he has a death croak.
Yes.
What happens to the rider as his
So
mount dies?
the rider, as it dies, fails on a deck save and tumbles down prone to the deck of the Delgado.
Christ, mate, it's gonna take forever for me to swab this off.
But he's still he's only lightly
Christ,
wounded. He
yeah.
just falls down prone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try to damage his legs so he can't hop away with the scimitar then.
Okay, so you're gonna use your bonus action, second attack there, and
Well, yeah.
swipe at him prone.
Yeah, that's
So
second.
you'll have advantage because he's prone, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the first roll was a 17. The second roll, okay, so the second roll is a 19.
Okay.
My new archetype feature is improved critical when your weapon attack scores a critical hit on a 19 or 20.
Nice. Okay, critical hit.
That's a critical hit on his legs with the scimitar, which is a d6. So that's 4, 5. That's 8 points damage on the critical. Yeah, 8 points damage. 4 to each leg.
He's sort of he's sort of kicking his froggy legs, trying to get his feet as you slash at him there, and just sort of like it nicks him up pretty bad, but not enough to disable him.
I am done, sir.
Elder Green, it's your turn.
All right, Elder Green is once again going to cast with Eldritch Blast, and it will be with advantage, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well then, it's going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
All right, and then, oh gosh, I don't know how much damage that deals. Give me this.
It's a D10.
Okay.
Some warlocks get to do their attack bonus to damage.
Yeah, I get to.
Yeah.
You're shooting
and
Eldritch
that's
Blast at him?
10. So it's
10
a
damage?
10.
Oh.
Yeah, I rolled a 10, and then I add 1 second. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
And then I add a 3 to it, so it's 13.
13 damage. Okay.
Better than my critical.
Yeah. So you sort of blast him point blank.
I didn't get a crit last turn, but I rolled an 8 and a 5 on my dice, so it was like high.
And he sort of gets up to his flippy feet and then hops off the deck of the Delgado into the water and back to where he came from. So he uses his dash action to move.
Do any of us get an opportunity to attack when he gets up and jumps away?
Yes. All 3 of you do.
I wasn't adjacent to him.
Oh,
so
no,
it
sorry, yeah.
It would
Lex
just
not all-
be.
Elder Green and Gilfin do.
Yeah.
Do you want to go after him, Elder?
Sure, I can roll to
Yeah,
hit him
Guilford
with
kind of looks at you
Henry.
like, are we going to keep attacking him?
Yeah, sure, I'll roll the attack of opportunity.
Okay.
And I was, no. It's a 6. So,
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
I'd like to, as he's trying to get away, if at all possible, try to... Can I use a grab action as an attack of opportunity?
Yes, you can attack him and attempt to do a grapple. So you
Yeah,
just
it
gotta
just-
roll
it
your
just
strength
replaces-
against your AC.
My strength
Against
is
his AC.
My strength is such bullshit. And his AC is gonna be so much better. But I feel like we should take him alive, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a whirl. I'm gonna grab at him.
Yeah, I was gonna try and capture him too.
That's a 10.
That does not hit.
Well, that's a grab. You know.
So he just kind of jumps through your grasping arm
Slimy.
and
He's
uses his
slippery.
20-foot leap. He has a standing leap where he can just jump and move his full move. So he jumps overboard and into the water and then uses his dash to swim 40 feet towards shore. It would be your turn next, Jacopo, if you wanted to continue.
Gilford, you need to wash your hands, mate. You're gonna get warts. How far out is he?
40 he's 50 feet from the boat in the water.
Okay. I have a range of
Probably
320
Yeah.
feet.
Here comes that moment
Hey.
like a sniper movie, like, okay.
I'm gonna try and string it.
Are you tracking ammo, by the way?
I am. I've got.
Okay, cool, good. Alright,
I'm marking
just
it
curious.
down. I am totally prepared to track my ammo.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna say
shoot-
that's. I would want that because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Sorry.
Yeah, I have been. I'm gonna shoot a bolt at his back flipper.
Okay,
Try and stop him from swimming away.
you got it.
And I roll a 9 plus. It's gonna be a 17.
That hits.
Okay. And he's gonna take 12 damage to his foot.
All right.
If I can hit his foot, I don't know. I'm trying to do non-lethal damage to him. I'm trying to keep him from getting away.
I think at this point you just kill him.
All right. He continues. You do hit him in the leg or flippers, but he still seems. It doesn't seem to slow him as he moves. Gilfin, it's your turn.
He's gonna go warn more of them. unless these guys here were treasure hunters, we should kick this big frog off and kind of move this boat a little bit faster, especially since Jacopo fixed up the sails.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think you'll be able to take him, mate.
He's wounded.
He's too fit. He's too fast. I've pigged him, but he's still getting away.
I started to push the giant frog off the boat.
It sort of flops into the brackish water with a loud plop, and its kind of guts leak out and drift away into the water.
Goes good eats, but we gotta keep going.
Yeah, you better strike the sail, mate. That's gonna bring all kinds of nasties.
And you kind of hear the croaks of the frogs and toads, like the Florida noise, die down, and it's still early morning.
You know, Jacopo, Bullywogs marry their mounts. He's gonna be real sore. His wife's dead now.
Well, I'm real sore about having to swab his wife off the deck. I'm
Yeah.
mopping it.
I'd help you, but my arthritis is kicking in. You know, old man
Yeah,
stuff.
sure. I
Yeah,
understand. I gotta get this off of here. We'll be drawing every gator for miles.
What I do? What you do? What you do with that helmet that he popped out of his mouth?
If you want to stick that nasty thing on your face, you can.
I feel
Oh,
compelled.
Gilfin, didn't you
touch
pop
it.
it out of Gilfin?
Yeah.
Didn't you pop it out of his mouth?
Yeah, I was on the, but I was more worried about getting the frog off the deck before grabbing the helmet. But now, if we have time, I'm happily go back. But
No,
I don't know if,
you wrenched the helmet out of the frog. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it, and
Look
you
at
actually,
this.
You're familiar with it. You took that because you've seen something like this before, and you immediately know that it gives you the benefits. Excuse me, of a helm of underwater action.
Helm of underwater action.
I used to have one of these. I made it myself when I was deserted on an island. I made it out of coconuts back then, but this one's sturdier.
What's it do, mate?
Well, let me look at it here for a second, because this one's not like the one I made, you know.
You can pull up the stats in the Avre if you want.
I'm looking for it online just to be fun.
Yeah, I remember. It lets me breathe underwater, and I can see farther in the dark, and swim faster. This one probably is not as strong as the coconut helm I made, but it'll do. It'll do.
So you all set out early yesterday to sail north up the coast past the Hool Marshes, which are these legendary swamps that Gilfin and Jacopo would be familiar with. They're known for being haunted, for having sort of monstrosities creep out of them at all times. And so you decided to board the Delgado and sail it up the coast to an abandoned fortress that was known in the past, ages ago, to be a stronghold for the Lizardfolk. But they haven't been heard from in a long time, and when they did live there, they never really bothered anybody. They're sort of primitive, like Native American type people. You think of like colonial era settlers and their encounters with them. That's kind of how the people of Salt Marsh had treated them in the past. They weren't necessarily trading partners, but they didn't ever really compete for resources against each other because they're just kind of living different lives. But you did find some lizard folk aboard a smuggling ship armed with weapons, and the town council has asked you as heroes of that discovery to further investigate the actions of the lizard folk up north. Some members of the council were more readily accepting of the lizard folk. Ewa Owland remembered that they really never bothered anybody, but the young upstart on the town council, who happens to be your benefactor, Jacopo, seems a little bit more skeeved out by the whole business. So that's where we're at. And you noticed in the distance that you were coming up, or you were rounding a promontory, and that the sort of hill that's covered in scrub reveals itself to be sort of that shell rock Florida coastline, a kind of a structure, but also very primitive though.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell that it's definitely the rock has been chipped away and then mortared into sort of a low squat maze of a fortress that really blends in with the rock. And you notice that around the coastline, there's sort of an inlet where you could go, but also that there seems to be torchlight in the distance, not torchlight, but smoke in the distance that would indicate sort of a more straightforward entrance to what this fortress might be. And that's where we're at.
Okay.
Do we ever, how are we going to approach these lizard folk?
Oh, you also can all benefit from a short rest if you want to, if anybody wants to spend hit dice or needs to benefit from that.
Yes.
I mean, they call him Elder Green, so maybe we should let him do the talking, but he doesn't know these people in these lands.
No, but they sound fascinating. I love exploring new cultures.
You can see some activity in the distance as the ship creeps, closer towards the promontory entrance. You see several armed and armored, primitive-looking people, similar to the bullywug. They're dressed in just hides, but some of them have patchwork leather, some of them have steel weapons, and some of them have crude, more natural weapons and armor.
We definitely got to keep our stuff holstered, because we're outnumbered, boys.
Well, I just have this dagger. His name is Henry.
Just keep Henry hidden.
Well, I gotta tell you, boys, I'm a little weirded out.
So we should come up with a plan. We're gonna have to talk to whoever their elder is. Do you want to do the talking, Elder Green?
I absolutely can.
All right.
You see there's a lot of activity. Like there are more simply clad lizard folk, sort of bringing boxes in and out of the entrance to their stronghold.
They're probably preparing for some form of war. I mean, that's why they were on the boat trying to buy weapons and whatnot.
They ain't gonna be too happy about us not coming back to that boat either.
Well, I mean, we're coming back to see. Well, it all depends on which way we want to go. We're trying to de-escalate them or to gain their fellowship.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna follow your lead, but I'm gonna guarantee you, we're in for a fight.
We're all gonna die then.
When that happens, we need to make a plan to run back to the boat and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, at easy count, just it's tough to tell because you're still a little far out, and there's a lot of movement. But you're probably only like 300 yards away.
We could probably gauge by village size how many people could live in a village of that.
Yeah, you count about a dozen and a half. Easily, but it's hard. It's even harder to tell because people are going in and out.
Yeah, we're definitely
Lizard folk generally leave us alone, but they're not going to be too happy about us marching right into the middle of their camp.
We gotta show them we come on in peace. I mean, on the open sea, we used to.
Do we still have the magical club?
Yes, you have the magical club, the magical helmet. And you can assume that since you can see them, they probably can see you at this point.
That's okay. Good. They haven't attacked yet. That's a good sign.
Well then, I will. Go ahead.
Okay. Is there anything I can do to maybe discern whether or not Jacobo would know customs of peace? Like, would he know that waving a white flag is good? Should I make a check for it or
what? What are your favorite monsters?
That's a good question. Let me go check. It's been a while.
Yeah. Tell me what your favorite enemies are, and then we'll see if you need to do a check.
Well, it ain't Lizardfolk. I know that.
It says here Lizardfolk.
Yeah.
No.
And you can tell me what your favorite terrain is as well.
Mine was the swamp. I
You got
think.
swamp.
You got swamp. Elder
Uh-huh.
Green, do you have swamp too?
Oh no! I don't have
Oh,
anything
okay.
like that.
All right. Okay, Gilfin. Yeah, if you have swamp familiarity, I mean, sorry, Jacopo, if you have swamp familiarity
Monstrosities.
and monstrosities, yeah, these
Mhm.
aren't monstrosities. But if you have the swamp as your favorite terrain, then ask me what questions you want to know answers to.
Would I know anything from hearsay about this culture that if you ever want to approach one peacefully, you would need to do this? You know what I mean? Like if you want to approach me, you're going to wave a white flag. Is there some sort of customary thing to let a lizard folk know that we're not here to kill you?
No, there's not anything specific, but you do know that they will react aggressively in kind to your aggression.
Okay, so if we just make sure that if we just try to make sure that we're not, don't put your hand on your sword. I will put Cherry away, and maybe if we can try and come with our hands open wide and make it known that we're not aggressive, we might be okay.
Brother Blackthorn, our gods will protect us.
You sure
Let's go.
You sure we don't need to raise a flag? Back on the sea, we used to put a yellow flag up. The yellow flag meant there was no foul coming to them. So we got to do something like that.
I don't know if these kind of folks like that kind of thing, buddy.
They probably can't see yellow, colorblind.
Jacopo, you notice that 5 or 6 of them, of the armed lizard folk, are sort of separating from the group and kind of walking away from, more towards the ship and away from the fortress, like they're lining up expecting to have to encounter you.
Right, they're preparing for us.
Yep.
Well, it looks like they're getting ready for us. Now's the time to behave, boys. Like I said, be ready to run.
And so Gilfin, you sort of take the you take the steering whatever it is, the lever on the back there.
Hold on to your glutes, boys.
Yep, and guide the Delgado a good probably 30 yards still from the shore. It's still
Oh, that's right. We're still on the boat. God.
Yep.
I don't know why I thought we were going through the woods.
Shallow enough to drop anchor, but not skid the boat. So you're still about maybe 30 yards from shore. It would be a swim to approach the lizard folk. They're sort of standing on this gradually rising shell rock promontory that leads to the entrance that you spied from afar.
Is there a place to like park the boat so everybody can climb off of it?
You could drop anchor, and then you would have to swim the 30 30 feet to shore.
We've already.
I have a
the
question.
front door here.
Yes.
These lizard folk appear to be kind of like an aquatic-based culture. Do they speak Aquan? Do I know?
You don't know. I don't think you have any reason to know much about lizard folk, and specifically. So I can't give you that answer.
Well, we've gone the front approach where we're not hiding anything. We might as well just bring the boat up there. Worst case,
now your friends Elder Green might know what language lizard folk speak, though. So.
Okay, well then I'll ask. Brother Blackthorn, do you happen to know what language these creatures might speak?
Alligator.
Jacopo, you know that they speak Draconian.
They speak
Draconic?
Draconian.
Draconic, yes.
I speak Draconic.
Well, look at that. You're going to be a great ambassador.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're about 30 feet out, right?
Well, I think we should take the boat in there and dock it. Now, that might be trouble.
There's no dock, so you have to drop
jump out and
swim
come
ashore.
You have
swim
to
in.
swim. This is what kind of third world country is this? How do they bring supplies in and out? No wonder they're having trouble.
So you're going to need an upgrade for the Delgado to get like a little John boat or something.
Okay.
To get it,
So, I am going to use thaumaturgy to amplify my voice in the hopes that they could hear me from the shore.
I'll say that they can.
Okay, and I am going to say in Draconic to them, greetings! I am a peaceful emissary from the town of... Oh no, what's the town called? Sorry.
Saltmarsh.
Saltmarsh.
Saltmarsh. Sorry, jeez. Hello, I'm a peaceful emissary from the town of Saltmarsh on a diplomatic mission. I come bearing gifts.
They all start like looking at each other, surprised, but they're talking to each other. You can hear sort of like the hissing language that you just spoke.
Yeah.
But they're too far off to make out what they're saying. But a couple of them sort of lower they don't seem to be as tense on their weapons. Their shields sort of drop down, a couple inches at their sides. They're not holding them up in front of their chests as high. And one of them sort of raises a scaly hand and waves.
Okay. Well then, I am going to take the magical club that we stole from that frog person.
Okay.
And I'm going to climb down off of the ship and start wading my way in.
All right.
All right, Giacomo, before we go in, make sure you don't use the S word. They don't like it when you use the S word.
Oh, yeah, mate. I'll make sure not to. And I wink really, really hard with my left eye.
The S word in Draconic is so you know.
Don't say that. They don't
Well,
like
I'm
being
just
called
making sure that
slee
you don't
stacks.
say it.
They don't like being called slee stacks. It's derogatory.
Right. Well, I'll follow him through the water.
Okay.
It goes.
So yeah, you all get into the water and swim a few feet.
We'll go ahead and try
start
the
wading
helmet
ashore.
out for the hell of it, okay?
Yeah. So yeah, you put the helmet on your head and notice.
I don't believe it needs attunement or anything. So.
Well, you would be attuned to an object of this kind already.
Oh, it does
even if
require
it did.
attunement.
You would be, because you've had previous experience with one. If you wear it, you're already attuned.
All right, awesome.
That and we had a short rest. You would have done it in there anyway.
Sure. Okay.
Elder Green, you have a familiarity with that club in the same way. So, if it needed, I don't think a +1 club needs attunement, but if it did, you got it.
Yeah, I'm giving it away anyway.
Okay.
Hang on to it.
No, I'm gonna give it to them. I said I had a gift, so I'm gonna give it to them.
Oh. Oh, hang on.
What?
No, just kidding.
Okay. Well then, I go to shore. Is there anybody specific like greeting me or what?
Yeah, you all trudge ashore, and one of the lizard folk is just a little bit bigger than everybody else, and he is decked out in some cool colors and feathers and skulls and shit. And the other 4 or 5 of them kind of stand back, and he says to you, "Hail and well met in Draconic."
Hail and well met. I am Elder Green from the town of Saltmarsh, and here is a gift for you. This is a magically enchanted club, and I will hold out the club to him, bowing as I do so.
He sort of looks at it and he reaches a kind of scaly clawed hand towards it, but then he says, "You know of our need. How is this so?"
Well, I encountered a few of your kind out on a ship, and that ship had many weapons on it, so I thought that you might like something of this nature.
And he sort of he reaches his hand out and he grasps around the club, and then his eyes go really wide, and he says, "This is an item of great power."
It is, and an offering of peace between our people.
He takes the club from you and sort of tucks it on his belt, and he says, he kind of holds his spear a little straighter and straightens up. "You must speak to the queen."
Of course. I'm gonna turn to the 2 people that are with me and say, "We're cool with the lizard guys now. What are we here for?"
Oh, you know what? I'm going to need a little bit of a recap on
Yeah,
that, actually.
DM, I think we're here to try
Well,
to
you're
find
here.
out why
You're here.
they're-
Yeah, you're here for reconnaissance. You're trying to find out why these guys moved back here, are stockpiling weapons, and
Right.
if they are a threat to Saltmarsh.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so the queen should. Yeah. So let's meet with the queen.
Let's go.
All right, and sort of he turns his head over his shoulder and he says, They have agreed to his 4 or 5 companions, and they sort of form a half circle around you. They're not being really threatening with their spears, but they're not really giving you kind of the relaxed treatment just yet either. You can tell they're a little bit tense. And he says, "This way," and he starts marching you up the path towards the entrance. And as you kind of walk by, you see that there are some of the lizard folk that are being tended to um, along the path by magic using other lizard folk, and they're wounded and bleeding with what appear to be grievous bite wounds.
See, Jack.
So they're. Got it.
See, Jacobo, I told you, they're fighting a war.
And it's
Well, it
not
looks
against
like it.
us.
I wonder
Yeah, it
if
looks
they're-
like it. Yeah.
I wonder if they're fighting them other fish people we fought earlier. The ones that took me out.
Well,
The large warrior sort of leans back. He's, "Caution your friends to remain respectful. We do not understand their tongue."
Of course. And I'm gonna turn back to them and say in common, don't talk in front of the lizard guys. They don't. Also, we're going to meet a queen, so be very respectful.
He asks
we're
you
cool,
in
my
Draconic.
Frackin'
In
sleep
Draconic, he
stacks.
says, what were they speaking?
They speak the common tongue.
But what were they talking about?
Oh, they were simply found the magics that you have remarkable. It is very good magics.
What magics do you speak of? Are healers?
Your healers, it's fascinating. They are very common people. They don't often get to see magic of that nature work.
Ah, yes, they are tending to the wounds of the thousand. The 1,000 teeth is great, but is also costly.
Hmm. Well, I'm going to hold back on talking until I speak with the queen. I want to talk to her.
And sort of marches into the entrance of the this primitive structure. It's sort of like an ancient pyramid, but like poorly built, just kind of again stacked cut stones. They're shaped and they're mortared together, but there's different shapes and sizes, kind of like a field stone wall, but with that coral rock, that beach rock, kind of all cobbled together, but suspended by wooden frames, and it's torch lit. It's very home-like. And there's still a lot of activity as you walk through these twisting hallways. A lot of the lizard folk just stop what they're doing and stare at you. And you sort of walk through. Each hall is about 10 feet wide, and the height of the ceiling is about 10 feet tall. Enough room, sort of, that you guys can walk, 2 or 3 wide. And as you're making it through, as they're kind of guiding you through in the front and back, small lizard folk sort of run between the guards' legs and kind of swarm around you and tug at your clothes and pull at your weapons.
Oh,
They're probably-
well, aren't you the cutest little things?
Do you say that in Draconic?
Yes, I do.
A couple of them kind of look at each other and they go, "He speaks our tongue. He is the bringer of the treaty."
That's right. I came here for treaty.
And the big one kind of looks back and he says, "You did not mention that you were bringing a treaty." And
I
you
don't
did
have
not
the
say
treaty
how you know
on
of
me
our need.
personally. I apologize. I misspoke. I came to possibly enact a treaty.
The queen will be interested in your news. And the tiny lizard folk they're kind of jabbering at Jacopo and Gilfin as they pull on their weapons. They're kind of almost like trying to pull them from your belts.
Hey now, that's dangerous.
That's the only way
Yeah.
they'll learn.
I'm
So
gonna
do you
give one of
let
them-
them take
I'm
your
gonna give-
weapons?
No,
Gilfin?
I won't let him take my weapon.
I'm gonna give.
Okay.
I'm gonna give one.
I'm
of the
going
little
to.
boys-
Yes, I'm going to. I have 2 daggers. I'm going to give them one of them, not Henry the dagger. I'm going to give him one of my daggers. And I'm going to say, "Here you go, little one. Go on, run real fast with it now. Run along."
And what do you give them, Jacopo?
One of my 10 good berries.
One of your good. Okay, so the one that takes the dagger, he sort of takes his eyes go wide, and he just immediately runs away with it. Elder Green and a couple of the hatchlings chase after him. The one that takes the good berries, how many do you give him?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
He pops it right in his mouth and also runs away with a couple of the little lizard folk chasing after him as well.
This is giving me Vietnam flashbacks. I have these little fishing tackle lures that I make. I could give like little feathery, little fun little things that I tie to my fishing rods. I could give them that.
Oh, so you offer it to a hatchling, and it sort of grabs it and then sticks it right through the skin of its ear, quickly, like hooks it in through its ear and lets the feather dangle, and then kind of runs away from the group as well.
Gilfin, I didn't know you made jewelry. That's
Neither.
amazing.
Well, there was a time when I was low on funds that I opened my own jewelry store, but we can't talk about it because we're going to meet a queen.
Oh, good grief.
Some of the little hatchling lizard folk tag along with you and continue as an escort. The one with the dagger kind of returns and marches along with the warriors as they lead you into sort of a bigger and more open area. This is the throne room of the queen, and she is a very regal-looking lizard folk perched atop a throne. So also of that same shell stone. And she's attended by an older, kind of wrinkly-looking lizard folk guy who kind of sits at a smaller stool at her side.
Cool art.
And the big colored warrior, bright colored warrior, says, "My queen, we have found these men who have approached from the shore. They say they are here to offer. They have offered me this mighty gift, and they say they may have a treaty." And he presents her with that magical club, and her eyes go wide as well. And she says, "This is a great gift of great power."
Of course, Your Majesty, I'll say as I bow. And I'll say, one of your splendor deserves much more mighty gifts, but it is what I had to offer.
And she sort of asked the same question that the bright-colored warrior asked. "How do you know of our need?"
Well, if I'm being honest, Your Majesty, the humans of Saltmarsh have noticed you stockpiling weapons in this area, and quite honestly, it has given them pause. They fear that you may want to move against the city of Saltmarsh. I was sent here to ensure that we do not come to war.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check, Elder Green.
Okie doke. Let me get my d20. How'd I lose it? There it is.
And you're gonna have roll it with advantage because you're gonna have advantage on the queen.
Okay, well, without advantage, it's 21.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, yeah.
And yeah, with advantage, it's 20.
And she goes, "Yes, we have great need. Since the magic started far off in the sea, we have been plagued by raids of Sahuagin warriors that have raided our villages along the coast, and we have had to return to old stronghold ways."
So the Sahuagin are attacking you.
The older looking lizard folk kind of gets to his feet, and he begins speaking in common. He says, "My queen, with your permission, I will speak so that everyone may understand. Our need is great. The Sahuagin have been threatening us. We have been trying to convince the lizard folk shaman that we need to ally with the peoples of Saltmarsh, in addition to the peoples that we have allied with already. We have sent messages to the merfolk, the Lokatha, and the Coalinth, and some have agreed to join our cause because they have been harassed by the Sahuagin as well. and the great magics and great monstrosities that they have pulled from the deep in their evil machinations.
Are me and Jacobo at all familiar with the Sahuagin?
Yeah, you would know them just from legends as very rarely encountered, but terrifying devils of the sea. You would think of them more as devils than know their proper names.
Would
But
that be who attacked us last session? The
yes, you
fish
can
folk
connect
off the-
those dots. You can see above the throne there are trophies of several Sahuagin faces ensconced above her seat.
Jacobo's going to say, the Sahuagin, they wouldn't happen to have gills on their necks, would they? And look like those skulls you've got up there.
Yes, they are vicious and powerful, and they never show their true strength. But
We
they
got into a
threaten all
scrap with
peoples.
some of them on the way here. We have already dwindled their numbers by at least 5 or 6.
And so the minister says to her in Draconic, so you can hear Elder Green, and then repeats himself in Common. I have told my queen that the things have worked out as we have planned, but we have dealt with difficulties that we did not expect. The 1,000 teeth.
What
that
is the
tails of
1,000 teeth?
It's like
What
Scooby-Doo
is
shit
the
right there.
1,000 teeth?
You were late, Gilfin. Again.
I was looking at the dead bodies that got hanging up around here. I mean, that's not very nice decorating.
The 1,000 teeth is a spirit of the Hool marshes. He is a king amongst these lands, and one of the reasons that we had to leave. But now we are forced to return to consolidate our power and our tribe and fight against this threat. Although the 1,000 teeth he takes some from us every day, we must not kill him, for he is sacred, and we will anger the marshes to further retribution.
How can you stop the 1,000 teeth from doing this to your tribe every day?
We cannot. He is like a god to us in your tongue. You would think of him in that way. But if he were to be killed, that would surely be a sign that we have the permission we need to join with the humans against our common enemy.
I'm gonna nudge Elder Green on the leg and motion him to come. I'm gonna whisper to him. Does that mean
Okay.
they don't want us to kill it, or they do want us to kill it?
The beast with 1,000 teeth must have quite the smile. But I'm sorry, I misunderstand. Would you like us to take care of it for you?
The 1,000 teeth are sacred to us, but if it were to die, we would be grateful.
I see.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Sleestick. I mean, friend.
Well, we were sent here to possibly make a peace treaty between our people. But I cannot promise we will join you in the war. I will do what I can to convince the other humans of our potential ally being beneficial to both parties, but I cannot make any promises. However, it was agreed that if any of us three go missing before tomorrow, that it is to be taken as an act of war. So I must return safely to this city of Saltmarsh.
He repeats that back to the queen in Draconic.
Oh, I was going to say that in Draconic.
Oh, in Draconic? Okay, sorry. Okay, so yes, she looks at you and she says, you have already given gifts to our hatchlings, and you have presented us with this great gift of power. Your words have moved me, and I know you are sincere. My minister is convinced as well, so are the warriors. And we will accept your offer to speak to your human council, and any need that you can give us would be greatly accepted. However, if you could help us defeat the 1,000 teeth, then I would know that this alliance was meant to be true.
Well,
And she hands the club back to you. She says, you will need this more than I in both wars that are to come.
and I will say, thank you very much, Your Highness. I accept this gracious gift.
Can you describe this creature with 1,000 teeth?
I was gonna, yeah, I
It
was
has
gonna say
1,000
something,
teeth.
if we can talk again. Yeah.
And
Yep.
maybe it's got 1,000 tails. Maybe it's got 100 ears.
I
It
will say-
sounds glorious.
I want to speak to the Jacobo wants to speak to the old lizardman who can speak common. Scribe, is that what you are to this queen?
I am minister to this queen and her most trusted advisor. Speak to me with kind words.
That was
Oh,
very disrespectful.
I am a professional monster hunter, and if you can tell me anything about the 1,000 teeth god, I might be able to use that knowledge to bring an end to him and set your people free.
Then if you are a god killer, we have need. For the 1,000 teeth, he brings us woe. Though we know we are strong, we fail at many things that our deity finds us to be shamed of. And so he sends the 1,000 teeth to rend us. He does not like that we have lost these battles against our Sahuagin attackers. And so the 1,000 teeth, he takes our warriors, our weakest warriors from us, so that we know that we must be strong to face the. You would call it a caiman or a crocodile or an alligator, but it is fused with monstrous size from feasting on bone and blood of lizardfolk for time untold.
That's fracking terrifying. How much is each tooth worth?
Jacobo is smiling from ear to ear. He is so happy about this. All right.
We would
Right,
make many
right.
weapons from its teeth. They are valuable to us.
What kind of
Right,
currency
mate.
do you guys have?
We trade mostly in weapons and skins.
I'm sure you
They
probably
don't
got
use
some.
currents. They have trade.
Yes, but they probably have exotic skins that I could sell to make a profit.
You will find skins from all sorts of creatures from the swamps.
Elder Green is going to use his power to speak into Jacobo's mind and be like, God, their god sounds so vengeful and horrid. It's a good thing we worship a much nicer god.
It's just a bloody big gator, mate. I killed those things left and right when I was a little cub.
Exactly, it's
Cuddly.
just a gator. I mean, how
Toddling,
pathetic.
I mean, I killed my first gator when I was a podling. I'm ready to go.
If you will sacrifice the 1,000 teeth, we will take it as a sign.
We're gonna need some form of gratuity, because this is gonna be a dangerous mission for us to go on. When we come back with the 1,000 teeth, we exchange that to you so you can make weapons. Perhaps you could aid us in some of our needs for our house.
Yes. We will share the weapons we create from the 1,000 teeth with you. And
Excellent.
I'm sure
and our allies of Saltmarsh against the Sahuagin.
But I'm sure you have many exotic foods and delicacies and things that we could take back to our people that they would find exotic and fun.
We could begin trade with
And
Saltmarsh.
fun.
This is
Yes.
agreeable to us.
Well, there you
Sounds
have it,
great.
Gilpin.
I'm in. Do you have anywhere I can sleep?
Yes, you may rest with us, but time is of the essence. 1,000 teeth does not wait while you sleep.
This 1,000 teeth, does he attack at night or during the day? Does he run fast or is he slow like a gator would be on his belly, on his belly?
He hunts us wherever in the Hool Marshes, wherever we may be found. But we know where he may be found when he rests, though we dare not approach.
Can
We
you
can
tell
show
me
you-
where that might be?
Yes, we will take you to our shaman, and they will provide you with a map.
Sounds good. I can't wait, boys. I haven't been on a good gator hunt in a long time.
And so a couple of more of the lizard folk warriors, and they say to Elder Green, because they know that you can speak their language, like, thank you,
Yes.
great warriors, for coming to us in our time of need. We will take you around the lair and provide you with anything that you may need before you set out to kill the 1,000 teeth.
Well, boys, certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
I can do this with my eyes closed, mate. Gators are predictable. I know their behaviour.
Jacobo,
Well, the-
I
What?
get it. You're a tough guy, but they have this whole village afraid. It's a godlike creature.
Gator's a gator.
You remember that giant
matter how
fish,
big.
that we encountered on the way here?
The frog?
No, there was a fish in the water.
Oh yeah, that thing.
There's a lot of dangerous creatures that are expanded in their size. They become demon-like.
And you'll find out just how big and demon-like next time on the hunt for 1,000 teeth.
Hooray!